Hello, everyone. Someone's asking me for my thoughts on the helicopter and the plane crash. I've flown in both planes and helicopters. Wow, when I first heard the news, they were saying it could have been like maybe a little private plane. You're thinking maybe a prop operator, propeller operated plane, maybe with the pilot and the co-pilot, or maybe just a pilot and a passenger, or one, maybe just one person on board the plane, which would have been tragic in itself. And maybe some kind of a helicopter, like a sightseeing helicopter, because it's Washington, D.C. But wow, it's a lot bigger and worse than that. A helicopter, I guess, with 3 aboard on a Black Hawk, and then also 64 people on board the American Airlines jet. Just tragic. A lot of people talk about it's so safe to fly. Air travel is just the safest way to fly. The safest way to travel. I'm sorry. But it's all numbers are numbers. If they say very few people they say this is the first air collision in the air in this amount of time. We haven't had a commercial airliner go down in this amount of time. But it doesn't really matter. The numbers don't matter. If one person is your son, for example, or if one person is your spouse, or one person is just a bit your best friend or something, numbers are numbers. There's nothing really about that. I mean, we're so happy that the number isn't greater. It wasn't a large jumbo jet filled with 250 people, for example. But numbers don't really matter when it comes to this kind of a tragedy. So sad that people lost their lives. So the number one can be the biggest number there is if it's somebody that you loved that perished, or if there's 64 people that you don't know, or I guess 67 total they're saying now, they believe or have passed away in this tragedy. So that number one to you might be a greater number than the 67. But remember, for every single person out there, that number one, that person of the 67, there's a family, there's friends, and they're going through that tragedy. So their number one is their one person on there, or maybe 2 people. I know there was a couple of ice skaters. I guess they were maybe a married couple, maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's a couple in skating, but there's 2 there. But it's likely that each one of those people that died in that plane, they were somebody's number one, the most important person there. So very sad, very tragic. I don't have any particular knowledge of this kind of situation.